Oh God, it is our first broadcast with the new operating system. Let's see how the mic sounds. It is our first broadcast. So far, so good. The new operating system. Let's see how the mic sounds. Broadcast. It could potentially go staticky, but for the first time since I have purchased this MacBook Pro. I'm just going to check the mic again because there is potential for it to go straight static. For the first time since I have purchased this MacBook Pro in early 2019, I have updated the operating system. The operating system is no longer version 12.6 and what was called Monterey. It is now on Tahoe. So I've missed 3 generations of operating systems for MacBooks between 2019 and now 2026. But for the first time, I've updated the computer because everything I was using was starting to break and get glitchy from today's police chase stream. Like OBS is starting to get overloaded with encoding. So I have decided to actually process the change. And why is that important? Because I am of the belief, the same with my cell phone. This is an iPhone 13 Pro Max. It has never once been updated or anything. And I know people in the chat will be like, that's ridiculous because there are important security updates. That is the bullshit they tell you to get you to update the phone. They tell you that because they want you to update your software because it will break the hardware at some point. When your hardware gets broken, you have to buy a new phone. And the only way that their stock price keeps going up and up and up is if they can get their customers to continuously rebuy their products and upgrade their phone from like the 13 to the 16. We've seen telephone companies do this. AT&T got a civil suit because they were slowing down people's internets on purpose at the end of the month. This is one of the biggest scams ever. And I refuse to just download new software programs for that reason alone. They are trying to get you to buy more shit from them. And if we can break it just enough, the customer will come back and they'll find, you know what? We've trained them to think that when the phone slows down, your memory starts to get clogged up. We'll come out with a phone with even more memory. Do you notice how these apps, do you notice how all of these apps, every time that you download an update, their memory storage goes from, for example, 200 MBs to like 250 MBs. The app gets bigger because they're adding in updates and whatever. So now it's going to require more space in your phone. Every time you update and update and update, now your phone storage capacity is getting closer and closer to 100. Oops. So now you have to either buy more space from the iCloud or go buy one of our new phones, which just conveniently come out at the beginning of the third quarter every single year. So they get you there. Number 2, the battery. Did you notice how I'm plugged in? Anyone that knows me personally makes fun of me all the time, but that's okay. I have never unplugged my phone. I carry around mobile chargers so that it always stays at 100%. The reason for that is your phone battery, these lithium batteries, have what's called cycles. And every time that your phone dips below, I think 97%, it counts as a life cycle. Think of it as your body aging. Every time that you drag a cigarette or have a night out drinking, you lose a couple days off your life. Well, every time you use your phone, an iPhone specifically, and it dips below 97%, that's a tally mark. That's you've used one cycle of life, and your phone only has so many cycles. And you can keep track of this by going into your settings, going to battery health, and you will see the percentage slowly decrease over time. Mine hasn't budged an inch because it's been plugged in ever since. I still have full capacity of my battery. I think maybe 1% it's gone down. Do not let these crooks continuously gaslight you into thinking that you need their new products to fix whatever your current issue is. They're doing that to you on purpose. And I have in this drawer over here, I can show you an iPhone 7, which I used for nearly a decade plus and still have to this day as an emergency backup. It still works. A lot of the apps are outdated and it's gridlocked, which means I can't update the operating system. They will lock you out of your phone if the phone is old enough and say it's no longer compatible with the current operating systems. And then most of these apps require that operating system to be able to download, use, and update. That's where they come back to get you. But that takes a decade plus down the road. So I've only had 2 iPhones in the history of my life. And I will use this iPhone 13 Pro Max until they start gridlocking me out of downloading and using apps. So that'll probably be a decade plus. This MacBook Pro will be the only MacBook Pro I have until it starts smoking. And today is the first day that the new operating system that I just downloaded for the first time in 7 years. This is the first stream. And so far, if you're telling me in the chat that my microphone isn't staticky, that was contributing to a lot of the reasons why the streams were glitchy. OBS got a little glitchy at times. I had to start messing with some numbers. I imagine because the old operating system just stopped communicating with a lot of these websites like StreamYard and OBS are being fine-tuned for the Tahoe operating system as opposed to Monterey, Sequoia. What are the other ones that they came out with? With that said, so far, so good. Let me catch up with the chat. What's happening? Yes, the mic sounds elite, says Alex. I agree as long as it doesn't resort to static. One of the worst nights in the association of the season, by the way. We have a true league-ass menu. Nice day here in Rip City, says Shaden. Oh, Sims, appreciate you, my friend. So today and yesterday, I asked Antonio, and God bless Antonio, but he's never one to come up with ideas on the spot. Like he's a critical thinker. He needs time to process an opinion, and then he'll be ready to deliver it. And I put him on the spot saying, hey, what should we call the Las Vegas basketball team? Then I came to you guys for ideas, and Stop It Sims in the chat proposed what I think is the best name still that I've given it some thought. The Las Vegas Spades is for one of the 2 teams alongside Seattle that could potentially be thrown into the mix in NBA in the near future. Spades is a perfect play on aces because the Ace of Spades is its own brand. It's WNBA. It's associated with championships. It's a suit of a card. Cards are obviously played often in Las Vegas. Spade is also a logo and a brand. Like people wear spades around their neck. You can also play a game of spades, which is very popular with NBA players. So there's that one, and then there's Snake Eyes, which is a second place. Snake Eyes is 2 die showing you the number 1. It's a craps term, and since they're in the desert, you can also create a logo involving an actual snake with eyes. Snake Eyes. So yeah, shout out to Stop It Sims in the chat, one of our regular commenters here on our Monday, Wednesday, Friday Q&A who proposed spades originally. They should be paying you a finder's fee of 1%, Stop It Sims, if they end up going with that name. Who's going to win the WPT Miami Open? No clue. Indian Wells is gone, and my interest with it. Let's keep going here. Sorry, I'm going to catch up on your guys' comments. Please mention in the chat if the microphone cuts out, but sounds like so far so good. And I'm no longer sounding like I'm in a fishbowl because we're using the computer speakers. Now I get to use a professional microphone again. Alex says those updates actually do fix 0 days. I don't know what that means. Carly says, what's up, Carly? Google telling me my drive is out of space. Everything is a scam now. Yeah, Google Drive, they do make it easy to get in there and clean it up, though. They'll present you with the bigger files that are saved. Do you want to keep this? Do you want to delete it? You delete a couple of those and you free up space in a heartbeat. Apple might be sending black trucks over to your address. Do them and Clutch use the same company? Sixers Gunners in the chat says, hey, Wob, I'm going to see Game 3 of the NBL Finals next week in Sydney. Was wondering if you had any advice on the best places to sit in the arena. I've seen you post rating people's seats, so I thought you'd be the right man to ask. Cheers from Australia. Okay, so to answer your question, assuming you don't have courtside money, because who does, where you put your feet on the wood, I would consider the best seat in sports, in all of sports, for a basketball game. Hockey on the glass, there's a giant piece of glass in front of you. NFL, you have to be about 50 rows up for it to be perfect bird's eye view. Baseball, there's a net even if you're behind the plate. NBA, you can put your feet on the wood and you're right there. It's also the only sport without helmets on, so you get to see their emotions on their face. You get to hear trash talk, all the above. But if you don't have the ability to purchase those seats and you're looking for best bang for your buck, I would say the first couple rows of the upper deck, as close to midcourt as you can possibly get, are always the best bang for your buck because it's an unobstructed view, even though it's second or third deck. So I would recommend upper corner, upper sideline, first couple of rows. Much better. Do not be sitting behind the stanchion on the lower level. Like, oh, I got row 7 seats. Woo! Row 7 behind the basket. You can't see anything down there, especially when the ball's on the other side of the court. You're going to want more of a panoramic view, which you will get in the upper deck. Do I live? Oh, wait, hold on. M. Menapiece says, fellow i13 Pro Max user here. Impressive that your charging port still works after all these years. Mine died a year ago, so I'm limited to inductive charging. Well, good news. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have one of those as well, where you slap the battery thing to the back. I got one over here. I've had to go through many of these cords. This is another thing that Apple does. These are extremely fragile. They fray quickly so that you have to continue to buy them. But I go with the eBay. I'd rather just buy in bulk off of eBay from some like Chinese company that's scamming Apple, because then I can get 10 for the price of one and I'll burn through them pretty easily. But the same goes for paying $30 to Apple for the same shit, and honestly, it's not that much of a difference. It's not like between a Gucci bag and a Canal Street Gucci bag. Even though some of those Canal Street knockoffs are bangers. Do I live in a basement apartment? No. Are you disappointed? Does it look like I live in a basement apartment? Why? Because I have these gorgeous luxurious jerseys over here. You will never get me to frame these. May I declare, I will never frame these. I hate the way framed jerseys look. Who started that? Putting jerseys inside of frames. Dude, they don't hang from the rafters in frames. I feel like I'm in a fucking Applebee's. Why would you do that? Let them hang. What's your call? Is Kawhi playing tonight? Good question. This is one of the few games right here on your screen. Shout out to our partners at ProfitX. This is one of the few games where both teams are actually going to be trying to win. This is one of the worst slates you will ever see. Almost every single game has a tanking team involved, with the exception of Clippers, Pelicans, where the Pels are 25 games under 500. Clippers barely 500. Potentially no Kawhi Leonard tonight with his injury. But I would be taking the Pels minus 1.5. DeJounte is questionable. Pels have been playing really good basketball as of late. And I understand the Clippers themselves have been good, but No. Bet of the night for me would be the Pels -1.5. Trey Murphy, Zion, Yves Missi. These guys have been playing and playing and playing. They've been taking advantage of some of these bad teams. They got good basketball as of late. They'd be on a serious winning streak right now if they didn't completely blow it against the Houston Rockets. And speaking of, the Rockets get the rare opportunity to hit a mulligan against the Los Angeles Lakers after one of the more disgraceful fourth quarter performances from a superstar in quite some time. That was horrendous. But Kevin Durant and Ime Udoka, you get the opportunity to run it back. Just rare in today's game. But yes, Danny is asking Pels or Clips. Everyone is interested in that game. I would say the Pelicans, but it's -1.5 at plus money. That means you can get the Pels probably. Oh, it only goes down to 1.5, Danny. Because money line is +112. Oh, you might as well just take the money line, +112. Right here. Don't take New Orleans -1.5 at +112. You can get them straight up at +112. So a little arbitrage opportunity here. Oh my goodness. Right as I say that. Stop. Forget everything I just said. Kawhi Leonard officially in for the Clippers tonight. Kawhi Leonard a go for the Clippers. This game is actually important because the Pelicans, per DeJounte Murray, are still like thinking we might have a chance at the play-in tournament, and the Clippers are well within their way. If the Pelicans were to just kind of win out and beat all the teams they're supposed to, there's a chance that they could sneak in the 10 seed. And the Clippers are now up to 8, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I would wait for the market to react here first, Danny. Could potentially stick with the Pelicans, but I was going to place that bet thinking Kawhi wouldn't play. That is obviously different. Kawhi Leonard a go tonight for the Clippers, and that line is going to bounce around here in a minute. Big S Brain says, you can't call a team full of black men the Spades. You just can't. I obviously don't know why. Can someone tell me why you can't call them the Spades? Is that a derogatory term or something? You're going to have to educate me. Helwick, what's happening? Will I be in the house for the... Oh, you will be in the house for the only game you bothered on commenting in my League Pass menu. Don't be... Not saying you, Helwick, but anyone out there. There is nothing on this menu tonight. Scroll these games really quickly. Tell me a game that's worth it. Don't even start with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Okay, that's great. There's a reason why they're favored by 11.5 points. Have you seen who's playing for the Warriors? You're getting GP2 and Quentin Post. Sorry if I'm not excited about that one. The Thunder and the Nets. Lou Dort out due to rest. Isaiah Hartenstein out due to injury management. Brooklyn Nets are missing their entire team with the exception of Terrence Mann. 18.5 point spread in Brooklyn tonight. That is a shameless disgrace. Portland Trailblazers are going to Indiana, where the Pacers played last night at Madison Square Garden, and the entire city of Indianapolis is on the injury report tonight, questionable. That terrible Trailblazers team on the road, catching 13.5. May I interest you in some Utah Jazz basketball, going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves without Anthony Edwards and without Naz Reid. Yes, they got a victory last night, but the Utah Jazz are tanking so hard, they're even starting to manage Bryce Sensabaugh's minutes because he's playing too well. The Toronto Raptors are in Chicago. Yippee-ki-yay. We get to watch a Josh Giddey triple-double because there is no other player on the floor. Clippers-Pelicans, we talked about. Hawks-Mavericks, if Cooper Flagg goes with like Najee Marshall, and I don't think Klay Thompson, Chris Middleton, I'd be stunned if they're all playing and they all go into the fourth quarter. The Mavericks have been doing the same shit as like the Wizards and the Pacers, with the exception of Cooper Flagg, that their mainstay rotation guys play until the end of the third. We kind of put on this facade that we're trying, and then they punt. Denver Nuggets at Memphis Grizzlies. These Grizzlies are so bad, they are talking about moving the team to Memphis. 13-point favorites on the road in the second leg of a back-to-back. And then we have the Lakers and the Rockets. Talked about that one as well. That's your one good game on the roster. So I am waiting for explanations as to why I should dedicate any of my time, if I am a mainstream sports fan, to watching this instead of March Madness tonight. I'll wait. Wyatt is in the chat. What's up, Wyatt? Did I see Jokic using Drummond as a prop last night, earning a foul and a technical to prove a point? He isn't being equally officiated. Was going on for a good 5 minutes before the tee was given and headed to the bench. Yeah, he tends to do that. Lifelong CX, what's happening in the chat, says lifelong Rockets fan here, and I don't think I have it in me anymore to defend this season. Well, the good news is that's all the Rockets do is defend. But yes, the Rockets are by far the most of the 6 teams in the Western Conference that are going to make the playoffs without needing the play-in tournament. I'll still assume that Houston can get there. They are by far the team that everyone is going to be strategically positioning themselves to be on the same side of the bracket against. They are incredibly flawed. They have Kevin Durant. They can't close games. Their offense in the half court is an absolute disaster. They give Kevin Garnett a grenade almost every time down the floor, 40 feet away. Now he's catching double teams. He doesn't know how to navigate them. There's no one on the floor to punish. Have you seen, I'm going to ask Helwick in the chat to go look at what Tari Eason has done since the All-Star break from beyond the three-point arc. This man quite literally has not made a single three, I think, this month, and he only has one game where he's made multiple. And this is in heavy volume, too. What was a career high percentage for Tari Eason from beyond the three-point line in the mid-40s has crashed now into the mid-30s as he has regressed to the mean like a grand piano being kicked out of a 22nd floor balcony. They have no one on that team that can score other than Reed Shepard. I'm saying outside of Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün should be operating from the free throw line in. Nobody's guarding Amen Thompson or Tari Eason outside the three-point line. No Fred VanVleet. You catch my drift. Dorian Finney-Smith is an absolute disaster. Shane says, I love you, but I'll never understand not framing the jerseys. My framer does all the jerseys for Buffalo Wild Wings. To me, it's art and protects the signatures. God bless. You just will not find it here. It is nasty art for me. Danny says that's true. I also think the Pels line will be good. Well, now you can wait to see what it resets to. Diamond says, oh yeah, it's a racial slur? Spades is? I thought that was a game. Extremely disparaging and offensive. A contemptuous term used to refer. Man, I guess I learned something every day. Sorry. No clue. I thought Spades is a game, like a card game. Spades is a suit. The word spade is used so many different ways. Dogs. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, man. I'm sorry. No offense given by me. I'm just not educated on the slang. Stoney says Bucks want to shut Giannis down. And Shams reporting he's refusing. It just never ends. Well, what Giannis is doing is taking advantage of all the gullible people in Milwaukee that are buying into this. I'm going down with the ship. When his people behind the scenes are obviously maneuvering to get him traded. But he's going to continue to show you with his words and actions that I want to be a Milwaukee Buck. And if I'm a Bucks fan, by the way, I'm totally drinking the Kool-Aid because it would be hypocritical of me to call them out considering the way that I felt when Peyton Manning was being traded from or let go from the Colts and went to the Denver Broncos. Everyone knew it was time for him to go. He was injured. Andrew Luck was available. This is the perfect spot to move on. And I'm just like, no, I don't care. I don't care. Just keep him here. I'm willing to endure bad seasons, but just don't let Peyton go. And Bucks fans feel the same way about Giannis. They know that Chet Holmgren's a go, by the way, he was questionable coming into this game. Bucks fans know he would be better elsewhere. He'd probably be happier elsewhere. Well, would you look at that? Ivica Zubac is a go for the Pacers. Aaron Nesmith is a go for the Pacers. I picked a big spot last night. I bet Ivica Zubac is under in the middle of the third quarter all of these Pacers, if you can grab their point total unders, like around the 7-minute mark in the third quarter, it is very rare for them to return to the game. And if you can just sweat out a couple of possessions and hope they don't score more than 4 points, TJ McConnell is a go. What the Pacers have been doing is resting their guys. They've been resting their guys for a majority of the fourth quarter. But yeah, also Quentin Jackson is a go for the Pacers. Yeah, the Bucks and Giannis is just like I'm tired of it. Just tell me when he's traded. I can see past everyone in the media knows this, by the way, because we talk to front offices all the time. Like Giannis is on Giannis's team, not Giannis himself. Giannis's team is working to get him traded. And he has his preferences, but he's never going to say it publicly because that would be bad for his image. And he wants to leave Milwaukee with them thinking this had nothing to do with me. He wants to protect that reputation he has, and he's doing a good job of it because the Bucks fans are slurping it all up. Thank you to our Hell Wikipedia in the chat who says Tari Eason is 1 for 25 this month, as I predicted. Oh, he made 1. Sorry, I said he was 0 for. And he's 7 of 51 since the All-Star break. Woof. Taylor asks, what's more likely, the Knicks go to the NBA Finals this year or Giannis is a Knick next year? Knicks go to the Finals this year. I don't think Giannis is going to be in New York. MCC in the chat, as a bias, Mitch Johnson better. Why is he at such long odds still for Coach of the Year? Because you have Bickerstaff and Mazzulla in front of him at the very least. It used to be Jordan Ott in front of him too, but yeah, Mitch Johnson will not be winning Coach of the Year. He would have to finish with the NBA's best record. Is the only way that Wemby has a chance at getting MVP, and Mitch Johnson has a chance at getting Coach of the Year. They will have to finish with the best record in the NBA. And OKC is back to running everyone over with I think they have a 3-loss advantage in the standings, and there's not a lot of time left. Like, San Antonio's running out of time for that to happen. Will Nemby be in? Yeah, Nembhard yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe Nembhard played against the Knicks. Did he? Wait. Anyway, even if he plays, it's usually front-loaded minutes. And I'm telling you, look at some of those live unders. If you can get them, the books are sharpening up a little bit. And they're starting to take them off the board earlier and earlier. And they're also changing the minutes based on how much time is left in the third quarter. But I got a good one yesterday where I had 4.5 points to spare with Ivica Zubac. He had like 10 at the time, and I had 14.5 over/under. And you book the under. If Zubac comes off the floor, he came back in at the end of the third, got a shot up, and the rest was history. Honestly, the Rockets could use Trevor Ariza right now. He'd be the perfect Rocket because he can make more corner threes, wide open corner threes than anyone on that team. So Durant, Jabari, Reed Shepherd, after those 3, who would you trust with your life on the line wearing a Rockets uniform to make an open 3? Your life is on the line. You get to choose from any Rockets not named Jabari, Reed, or Kevin. I guess Fred VanVleet would be next, even with his torn ACL. Certainly not Dorian Finney-Smith. Going to Jayshawn Tate, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Clint Capella, Josh Okogie. Aaron Holiday. Jeff Green, maybe. Oh, my God. Dejan in the chat is asking KD unders tonight after that Lakers defensive coverage last game. So JJ's way too sharp to just continue to run double teams at Kevin Durant. He knows they've spent the last 2 days scheming against double teams for Kevin and what we're going to do in the event this happens in the fourth quarter once again. So I could see a world in which JJ is having dudes like show and then retreat to try and mess up whoever's going to be flashing to the middle of the floor, which is usually Amen Thompson. So to prevent that release valve from being wide open and Kevin Durant going to them more times than he did in the first game, that's how JJ throws a wrench into this. So now Kevin has to go back to just practically ball hogging. But with his post-game press conference comments, he's like, maybe I just need to get out of the way and let these guys get some shots up. 25.5 is the number from Kevin Durant. That is a ton of points, and I do not mind the under there. Someone in the chat was asking. 25.5, I would say, I could totally see a night where he goes for like 18 and he has 11 assists. 20 and has 11 assists. That 25.5, you need everything to go right to get there. And do we get Şengün back tonight for Houston as well? Bring back Ryan Anderson. There's a name. Man, Ryan Anderson was at the forefront of the big shooting threes movement, because that's when Morey was really starting to empty the clip with Harden and Dwight Howard and spacing. The effects that he had on the game. Morey's always been at the forefront of these basketball revolutions, but never actually won a championship. Is certainly a weird dynamic. Can appreciate him for it, but one of those not wrong, just early type of brains. Mike at Night in the chat saying, changing my Mavs corner platinum seats to upper level center seats, better view. Did it cost more money? Sounds like Mavs corner platinum seats are platinum would allude to like a desirable row. Wait, are you in the lower corner? Because I used to be in the lower corner. I had 8 seats in section 110 row O. One of the best bets I ever made. The year that they won the title, I bought those seats with 22 home games remaining, so it still qualified as a full season ticket. Not only did they win the title, they played the Blazers with Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge. They played the Lakers with Kobe and Powell. Played the Thunder with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. And then obviously the Heatles in the finals. You can't ask for more high-profile opponents. Almost maximizing every single game they played at home too. Meaning I got like 3 games per series. Should the Celtics be favorites to make it out of the East? Asks Herman. No. No. Man, it's tough to keep Detroit up there considering that their vulnerabilities are starting to pop here without having that secondary scorer around Cade. It's also a little banged up right now, too. I say the Pistons and the Knicks are still the class of the East. Celtics are right there. But no, I wouldn't say they're the favorites. Celtics, Knicks, and Pistons, and then everyone else. What's up, Coach Mike? Texas asks, what's the best small market city that I enjoyed visiting for basketball or just in general? I mean, I lived in New Orleans for 2 years. I'd say New Orleans is up there. You said small market, so I can't even say Seattle because Seattle's not a small market. Yeah, New Orleans. I know it quite well. I told a funny story with Antonio on the show today. So back when I was working for the team when they were the Hornets in 2000 and we'll call it like 2010, Antonio was warming up on the other side of the floor, and the Knicks were in town. In 2009, 2010 is still very early Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Like it does not have mainstream adoption just yet. And I remember sitting on the sideline. I'm in a full suit and tie because it's game day. And I had some clients sitting courtside. And I pull out my phone to like scroll the timeline really quickly. And I had the phone in a position where it looked like I was taking a video or a picture of Ronnie Turioff warming up for the Knicks. And before I know it, he's like marching, stampeding over to me. Furious. It's like, why are you filming me? Why are you filming me? Do you work for the team? Security, security. Like, this was a time when taking your phone out and filming someone was not acceptable. Nowadays, they just stick it in your face without your permission. I was like, dude, first of all, no, I was just, look, I'm scrolling a timeline. He's like, what is that? I'm like, it's Twitter. Still didn't know what Twitter was. But yeah, I just got dressed down by Ronnie Turioff for like no reason whatsoever. And that's the story. Then he went back to warming up. Maybe he was just so locked in. But I was thinking, with all due respect to Ronnie, would I be wasting my time filming you instead of like, at the time it was David Lee? Shea slander is getting too much. I actually like discussing Shea now because it is becoming so obvious a fan's point of view or the way that they consume the NBA product. All you have to do is ask them their opinion on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And I can tell within 10 words of your answer if you are someone who is chronically online and just gets your narratives from a For You algorithm, from TikTok, from Twitter, or Instagram. Because if you use the For You, for example, the other night, there was only one play that went completely viral with Shea. And it was OKC's game in Boston where you can hear Jaylen Brown saying, that's not basketball. I think in that one of these games, Shea shot a grand total of like 8 free throws. He only went to the line 4 times. He didn't have that many foul baiting instances. And for 2.5 hours outside of that play, he was killing dudes, killing them. So good. But if you spend your time on the internet calling him a foul baiter and like unethical basketball, that is without a doubt, the easiest way to get someone to tell on themselves. Just simply ask them about their opinion on Shea, and they will always expose themselves. And you don't even need to insult them. They won't even realize what they've done. Andrew Nembhard out tonight, officially, for the Pacers. Wow. Unexpected. What is going on with this line? Let's see now. Blazers 12.5-point favorites. Michael Potter's out. He's a guy playing in the fourth quarter for them a lot. Anything else, chat? It always gets quiet around this time. Am I just a second screen experience? hanging out on some tablet next to you while you do something else. It's a Q&A, and I don't have anything to rant about. No vegan Barbie here to have me reveal all of my dietary preferences. Yeah, I watched the game last night. Venezuela, USA. I was kind of rooting for Venezuela. They just don't give a shit about like American baseball. I'm trying to think of the actual Olympics. I care about Team USA. Pretty much all sports. World Cup of soccer. But like Team USA at the World Baseball Classic, I'm like, it clearly means a lot more to them. Lord knows that they need a unifying moment of success or solidarity, and they got it. So it's like, you earned it. Good job, man. Go celebrate in those streets. It's been a chaotic couple of weeks for those people in that country. Oh, there she is. I knew you were lurking in the shadows. Am I your meatitarian muse? All I do is eat meat and carbs. Meat and carbs. Live vicariously through me, vegan Barbie. If I was going to rank SGA in all-time shooting guards, where would I have him? Shooting guards like Jordan, Wade, Kobe. Gosh, who else am I missing? There's got to be so many. I don't think Shea would be top 5, but I got to think of who would be in front of him. Those are just the first ones that come to mind. Helwick says, I've been to 81 games but never seen LeBron play. I figured I'd get this one before he retires. It sure feels like that's where we're headed. Is he going to come back? I mean, he has had multiple games here where he's finished third on the Lakers with field goal attempts. He's kind of just somebody out there doing the other stuff. We're talking about LeBron here, by the way. Is he just going to retire and be like, man, I want to go play golf? Will the NBA even let him retire? You know they have to milk every single game during his victory lap. It'll be as much as Kobe's was. NCAA tournament thoughts. Last night's game was awesome between NC State and Texas. A couple of big-time shots made. The most inefficient shot in basketball. Back to the basket, 1 foot inside of the three-point arc. Ball fake, drop step, gather, rise and fire, splash, dead eye. Bang. What a shot. I mean, that's what March is about, is taking those ridiculous attempts and kids just meeting the magnitude of the moment, creating something special. What's for dinner tonight? My basketball Twitter muse asks Vegan Barbie, what am I making us? Tonight may be a chicken night. Just chicken wraps. Problem is I'm out of food. All I have fresh produce is ground turkey. So I may have to make some chicken nuggets. I got groceries coming tomorrow, so I got to survive. Tonight's going to be a frozen food night. That's all I got left. I'm out of cheese. I'm out of cold cuts. I'm out of rotisserie chicken. I'm out of everything but ground turkey. And I just had spaghetti with meat sauce last night. No, that's not true. 2 nights ago. Last night was egg and cheese on whole wheat bread with bagel with cream cheese on the side. Am I married? Does it sound like I'm married based on my diet? Jerry West, yeah. Courtside, vicarious muse. Yeah, I'm so spoiled now. I won't go to a game unless I'm sitting courtside. I won't even sit. I turned down I had a ticket to Lakers Bulls the other night, fully stocked suite, drinks, food, everything. And I was like, no thanks. Bulls suck. It's too far, and it doesn't interest me. That's how you know my transition from being a fan to just someone who works in this industry is complete. I'm like the dark side now. Back in the day, that'd be like the most fun thing in the world. Show up to an NBA game with a sweet ticket. Like, be so excited. And now I'm like, unless I'm sitting courtside right next to the head coach, I'm not going. And I get plenty of those seats, but that's the only way you can convince me to go. Ground turkey is not fresh produce. Hello, Mayo. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's wrapped. It's directly from an animal. French onion turkey burger. That sounds good. Yum. French onion turkey burger? Oh, I want to make one of those. Wait, should I make a ground turkey burger? Can I? What do I need to put into the ground turkey to make it taste good? All I have is like Italian cilantro. No, not Italians. I have like Italian mix stuff. And I have like cayenne pepper. Usually you got to chop that shit up with like some onions and you can't just take a block of it and go and cooked it as a turkey burger. There's no way that tastes good. Egg yolk. Ooh, I can do that. Do you put it on the meat before it's cooked? Or do you put it on top after it's done? Yes. Carly, you will learn. You're next up in the chat of someone who's going to be a boomer soon. And I can sense that you are starting to embrace a lot of these boomer lifestyles and traditions. And you're like, you know what? I kind of like this. Trust me, you will. Once you start getting into your mid 30s, you will see the light on how fun it is to live life like a boomer. And part of being a boomer, especially here on the West Coast, is that West Coast elitism. How easy life is on the West Coast. Thumbing our nose at everything that doesn't matter. I'm looking at the ocean right now. It's just like could not be nicer. Nobody here cares about anything. People in other parts of the world are dealing with wars. People don't pay bills here. They don't work. People just live. They go sit at the beach. It's free. You do everything outside. It's free. It's gorgeous out. You get invited to a Laker game only if I'm sitting on the feet on the wood. Definitely not go to a Clipper game. I don't think there's anything you can do to get me to go to a Clipper game. Feet on the wood for like Wemby? Maybe. Buy the French onion soup mix, the powder or whatever, and mix it with the ground turkey. It's so good. Can you crack an egg, pour it onto the raw ground turkey, and then start cooking it all together? Does that create anything that tastes good? That feels like salmonella waiting to happen. I got to be able to do something with my Italian spices. Cayenne. What's cayenne peppers meant to go on? I think you have to cook the egg, don't you? A little bit? What? No damn raw egg. You put the raw egg yolk in it. Okay, that makes sense. is this collar all messed up? Looks like I've been biting it. Turkey meatballs with Italian seasoning? That sounds... I might as well just make meat sauce, though. You can crack egg on raw turkey. The egg helps keep other stuff you put in together. Huh. Do I dare try and make a ground turkey burger? Because I have bread, I got cheese. That type of cheese. I have that type of cheese. I'm so scared I'm going to mess it up. It's going to taste just so bleh. You guys are so smart. Vegan Barbie, do you approve of all of these recommendations here? Take the raw egg yolk, put it in it, the ground turkey. This must be a different language for you. Oh, games are about to start. This is what Prophet X is sponsoring. Yes. Now you get it. It's a Q&A, man. Did I bring us to this? I think this is Vegan Barbie's fault. No, this time it's my fault because I said she's not even here to ask questions about my diet, and then I spoke it into existence. I put words in her mouth. Do we have to go watch basketball now? Yes, thank you for your service, Prophet X. Someone out there is watching this like, why are we sponsoring this stream? Because there's nothing to talk about NBA related. All the news dropped. You did oblige. Vegan Barbie, you are an ideal member of this show's community. Someone who can give a little sass, take a little sass is my perfect, like, someone I want to speak with. Doesn't take things too seriously, can contextualize conversations and opinions, isn't just hard-headed one side or the other. This is very informational. We love the banter as well. Are you speaking we love the banter like Gollum and Schmeagol? The two of us. That's my alter ego. Do I have an alter ego? No. Honestly, the way you can tell that I don't like you is if I start being very like politically correct and smiley. Because that's me trying to leave a conversation on good terms. My natural state is just like naturally cranky. Not mad. I rarely get mad. I'm just naturally cranky and looking for something to complain about because I think it's fun. That doesn't mean I'm upset. I'll find a way to complain at the beach, like laying at the beach. What's wrong now? What can I complain about? Why is the shade going that way? Yes, I wish I could have been an old man sooner. I love being old. Other than your body hurting, how much you just don't care about shit is... Most of your friends are off, they're married, they have kids, you're not going out to bars, there's no like social hierarchy. You just gotta do what interests you, and you don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. It's amazing. Not all 40-year-olds are built the same, but I certainly am. I am as apathetic as it gets. It's a superpower. The only bad part about being apathetic is nothing bothers you, but you rarely feel like joy and happiness. It's just all kind of like, I'm content with everything. been very few times in the last decade where I felt like euphoric. That was Carolina beating Duke in the Final Four. Not many. Not many more I can choose. All right. That was some fun banter. I hope you guys keep an eye on this Pacers game tonight because I do suspect Ivica Zubac is going to be coming out in the third quarter, and you can find a live under here on ProfitX. For your sports investing needs, hope you consider these guys, if that's up your alley. If it's not, don't worry about it. The Knicks beating the Celtics last year? No. Not a single Knicks victory will make me feel joy unless it's to close out the NBA Finals. You're talking to someone who witnessed the John Starks game in 1994. Why would I ever care emotionally to that level until I've been to the 2-inch line, not the 2-yard line, the 2-inch line, and my favorite player had a bad game. So unless the Knicks actually win the championship, I'm not going to be like euphoric after a second round victory. We started with Apple products and we finished with ground turkey. That is a show. And the microphone works now. And the stream wasn't glitchy. Would you look at that? Maybe I should have updated a long time ago. But stubbornness rules all. I would rather be stubborn than admit. I would rather be stubborn than be wrong. I would rather be stubborn than be right. Wait, you get my point. See you guys Friday.